So what we're going to do is I want to show how I created this.
Ooh,
now I'm hoping it's going to show up well on camera.
Yeah.
And we've got this stencil on the show today. It's called Woven.
Oh, yes.
And it's great just as it is, but I really wanted to show how to create depth. And I've got a thing about doing black and white work at the minute. I gravitate to it all the time, but I want to show how I achieved it.
And it's amazing because when you look at a stencil, sometimes it's a bit tricky looking at stencils because it's kind of the holes we're meant to be looking at really with a stencil, because that's where the colour goes through, isn't it? So
yeah, so I'm just using some Distress Oxides.
Okay, and they're good for on the black cardstock.
Yeah, it's great on the black. I mean, it's not going to show up obviously as well as if it was on white. The more you put on, the lighter it becomes.
Okay.
But that's why we need to do some sort of additional work to really ham those colours up. I'm not going to do all of it because my clock is actually going to feature on the piece that I've already done, but I just want to show...
It's got quite a fluid edge to this, so could we kind of pattern build and extend it?
Yeah, do exactly as you like. So, does that show... Oh, it does show up, good.
It's almost got a bit of a Celtic feel to it,
a little bit.
Yeah.
And so what I use is a white crayon. I use Derwent Inktense, but you know, whatever you have, and a white gel pen. Okay. Now we've got a group called the Pink Inkers group Facebook page.
Okay.
And recently there was a big debate about gel pens.
Oh, I love a debate.
Yeah, and it went on quite a long time. And actually, it's really helpful because people give their opinions on what works for them and what doesn't work for them. And a lot of people found that the gel pens they flow to start with, and then they don't flow so well.
Right.
And one of my top tips is if you find that happens, it may be because there's only a little bit of ink left, and as it gets towards the end it tends to dry a bit, but just pop the shaft in some warm water just to try and loosen it a bit, and that can improve the flow of your gel pen.
There you go, top tips.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on a bit that probably shows up best in the camera, so we're going to go here. And so with my pen, my crayon, I'm just going to highlight the tops of the weave. So you can imagine that as this is going under, it gets darker, doesn't it? So I'm just literally...
just keeping it to the same edge on all three strands, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, it's a creative piece of work, so, you know, you can do what you like. But this is really showing how I did it. And I'm not going to do very much, but just enough for you to really see dimension.
This is amazing. It's almost like breathing extra life into it. It looks amazing.
And it's so simple, isn't it, Hayley? You know, sometimes you don't need a lot of bits and bobs, you just need a few basics.
You say it's simple, but I wouldn't even think of this technique. So yeah, once you've got the knowledge, I suppose that's the key thing, isn't it?
And then this bit in the middle, I'm just going to add a bit of white to that, because that actually helps bring it out as well. And this one. And then I would obviously carry on with this crayon and keep going. And then I'm going to go to my gel pen.
Okay. So this is giving more of a definite white now. Okay. Or more defined, I suppose that's the right phrase, isn't it?
Exactly. But can you see how that's really popping out?
Yeah, it's kind of bringing the light. It's very clever, actually.
Isn't it?
Look at it, because it hasn't moved. It's still as flat as when you started, but the illusion that it gives you, that's brilliant.
And it's great fun to do. It's very mindful. I mean, with gel pen, I quite often just use my finger. If you don't want a solid line, just stroke it, and you can soften it, and that's a really great technique. So we'll just do a little bit more so you can see. Can you see how...
You have everybody rooting through all of their different stencils now to figure out where they can do this. Obviously, the stencil that we're working with is absolutely perfect for this technique, and that's you woven. It comes with your flames and flowers, so you're going to get both of those stencils, good sized stencils. You're only looking at £11.69, so definitely worth going for. It's mesmerising watching it come together.
So I'm just going to dab that because I don't want it to be. But can you see just this area here as opposed to this area here?
That is amazing.
It's just so lovely. So I've done it on this one.
Okay.
In fact, I think I've done that a bit more. You know, I could even do more if I wanted to.
Get quite carried away doing it, really, couldn't you?
I think though it looks better when it's not all done.
Yeah.
You know. I think actually I probably put a bit more purple on this one than I did on the one I'm going to work on. But anyway, you get the gist. And then what I've done is I've stamped my Hickory Dickory Dock, the main clock, onto craft card.
Okay, yeah.
And this is how it stamps. I'm trying to save time but not actually doing it. But and then with the gel pen again, I have just gone in and highlighted some of the open areas.
Okay.
Again, if you don't want a hard edge, just use your fingers to sort of soften
just dab it away.
Yeah. I'll just work on the top bit and then show you the bit I've already fussy cut out.
Any top tips for working with large stamps? Because the substantial size, the stamp that you've got here.
Well, obviously I mean, I don't use a stamping platform. A lot of people find that that's beneficial, but because we quite often work oversized, like not square or bigger than A4, we don't find that a platform, a hinge platform works for us.
Okay.
So we use one with foam feet like this.
Oh, so, I see, like a squidgy one.
Yeah. So if you're working on an A2 sheet of paper,
you can put it wherever you need.
You can manoeuvre it around, and it's much better for fabric as well, because obviously you can't put a piece of fabric in your hinge platform.
That's true, actually.
So,
yeah, that's a good idea. So, purely on a nosy basis, I mean, when you were actually creating this piece of artwork, what sort of size would it have been originally when you drew it?
I draw it about double up,
okay,
and then it shrunk down, and then as it shrinks down, it tightens up all the line work. And actually sometimes I do draw same size, but on the whole I double up.
I just love learning about the creative process. I just think it's fascinating.
And you know, people, if you've been watching us for a while, I always used to draw on my in my sketchbook, and it used to be proper drawings, but I now do 100% digital drawing.
Oh, do you?
It took me a long time to sort of come round to the idea and thinking it was a good idea, but I wouldn't go back now. It's just so much easier. So what I've done is I have cut out.
Oh, look at that! I've
done the same one. Let's just pop it on here so we can see.
Okay.
So there it is, all cut out, and I've actually fussy cut out the centre of the clock. Okay. But I've used the same purple that I've used in the background because I want to just
clever.
I want to throw it forward a little bit, so I'm going to glue that to the back.
Lovely.
And I've actually also done a second one, which is the small one. I haven't put the white work on it yet, so you can see the difference, can't you, between the two. I mean, it really makes it pop, and I've done a little small one for there. So we'll put these on. So I've glued on the clocks, and then I've got a sentiment up here, which I want to add up at the top, there. And I just want to get one little clock. Now, it's important to me because it makes my eyeballs itch.
Okay.
If I don't have the clock at the 12 at the top, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes, yeah.
So I'll just squeeze that under there. It just kind of looks a bit weird, doesn't it, if it's not? And then this is where I said if you wanted to do your little own time, you just stick that on the top and then stamp your own timings on it. But here I wanted to do a little bit of pen work, so I'm going to randomly, and I've cut the little one out as well, so I need to get that the right way round. 1 o'clock. I think I'm going to have that one there, so maybe that one here. And then I want to link them all up together. But isn't black, white and a little bit of purple just gorgeous?
I love it. That purple's a beautiful colour. Which one was it that you used? Was
it
wilted violet? Yeah, wilted violet.
Well done.
Lovely.
And then what I want to do is ground this a little bit.
Oh, okay. So this is when we kind of hear that grounding phrase, so to stop them looking as if they're floating, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Ooh,
and then I want these sort of to be connected to the ground as well. And of course these could become the centre of flowers, you know. If you want to write, if you want to put some beautiful lettering in the back, passage of time or that sort of thing, it could work really, really well. So I'm thinking, right, I'm going to put something on here. Well, I might refer back to what's on here, and actually I think I'm going to mimic that. So, you know, look at what you've been given in the form of the illustration, and all it is mark making. I keep banging on about mark making, but it really is, that's all it is. I mean, anybody can do a little squiggle and anyone can just put a couple of ovals on, you know.
I love it because, as you say, they're looking to the inner detail of the stamp.
Yeah.
And follow the pattern, follow the flow.
And then why don't we put some little...
Oh, that's fabulous.
Decorative work.
Yeah.
I don't want to make this too fussy because I think the important bit is that actually the stenciling behind. Yeah. But just a few little bits.
And I love this because it's reminding me of there's a certain story. Was it a fate? I don't know. Beauty and the Beast, where obviously more recently we've seen films where clocks have come into the story. So it's not just about the kind of the Mother Goose theme that we've been looking at. It's
was it Sleeping Beauty? Or
was it Sleeping Beauty? Was it Beauty and the Beast? Beauty and the Beast, was it?
Was it?
I'm thinking of all the different. Were they French? All the different kind of with the candelabra and all of those.
Love anything like that.
I love
it's
it,
so cool, isn't it? And then what I'm going to do is I want to connect it all here too. So I'm going to add my white line.
See, that makes that pop as well, doesn't
it? And then I'm going to repeat these circles around here. With a gel pen, be careful not to smudge with your hand because if that's still wet, that could make a mark, and I don't really want to spoil it. Because it stays wet for a little while, doesn't it, a gel pen? It doesn't dry straight off. And then we're going to give it a wiggly line. Well, it's not too wiggly. Use a ruler if you want to.
I like that. It's beautiful.
This is the texture paste with the waxes added to the texture paste.
Oh, mixed into it.
Yeah, because with all our mediums, you can mix them all together.
Amazing. Yeah, it's like a two-tone
look. And if it looks like a like a dimensional polish, doesn't it? So that's added. I think I added that to the clear, and then the Stardust powders, as Mel said, just flick them on, and they dry hard. They're just brilliant. And this is on Bockingford, and I mixed the wax to white texture paste, added some multi-surface paint over the top, and it's sunk into all the little nooks and crannies onto the paper. But I buffed it off the raised area, so it's
kind
revealed.
Of added like a resist
effect, and then again put the Stardust powders flicking on the top.
It's nice if you want that more of an opaque look, isn't it?
Yes, and so it's just so cool. And this is the one where I did it on the fabric. And this morning I did that blue, and it's, as you can see, it's spread. But this afternoon I did actually add a little bit of red here to go the opposite way. But imagine doing, you know, your texture pastes and then putting your multi-surface paint and making a cushion cover and doing embroidery.
Do you still bring the fabrics to us?
Is
it microfiber?
It's microfiber, but we've got some on. I think we've only got it on our website because we've got hardly any. I think we're going to try and bring it for the next.
Oh, it's fabulous stuff.
Oh no, it is on. It's end of call.
So basket.
Beg pardon. So it is here. But if you want it, you need to get it because we have got hardly any, and we're struggling to get hold of it.
It's brilliant as a base because it's got a lovely kind of texture to it, but not overly so. You can still stamp on it and do all those fabulous things.
And it's loose, and being loose, that's how you get the spread of your colours.
Kind of wicks out the colours.
Yeah, if you want to know more about painting on fabric, we've just uploaded from the last time we were at Create and Craft a quite concise video, our video of all the different combinations and what you can, how you can do it.
Is that on your YouTube?
I think we've put it on Pinking and Catkin, haven't we? Yes, we have. So, right. So this little mouse is off Hickory Dickory Dock. I was going to do the ducks, but I don't think I'm going to have time.
Okay.
And now our Stardust powders.
We've got about 4 minutes or so.
Oh yeah. Well, I might. You never know. I use the lid as a palette, so you don't need a separate palette. I just go straight on, and then I leave it to dry in there. Put the lid back on, and then reconstitute it with water every time I want.
Like a watercolour paint. Then.
Yeah. It's great, and it's great on top of, if you want to paint like a piece of MDF with the multi-surface paint, and then this going on the top, and we've also got a video of how to use these on top of that. So if you want more sort of technique-based things, we've got that for people to watch.
Perfect.
So literally, you just paint it on like a paint, and all it is our Stardust powder. And we can do the same thing as we do with our other mediums. We can even paint with our waxes, because they're water-based. We can add water.
Yeah, because in your head, when you say wax, it's a case of like you'd think that it wouldn't. It's almost like a barrier. But
yes, exactly.
Brilliant.
So, and I just want to give it a little bit of pink.
Oh, these
pink
are so cute.
The most valuable. I mean, I love all the colours. But the most valuable is the gold and the copper and the silver, because they really, really are metallic. So
the most valuable in use, you mean, with regards to that?
I think so, because you know, we like to use the metallics, don't we?
So
and
to be honest, as I spoke of it, I mean, you're getting you choose 5, and there's 10 colours in total. I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility to go for all 10 in one go.
No.
To be honest, and then you've got more there.
So we've got our little mouse. Now our little mouse is going to be, and let's do the same colour because it's out. It's going to be hovering, and it's going to be hovering because I'm going to do a little bit of pen work.
Okay. Oh, I'm intrigued.
Take some of that off because it's a bit dark. That's it. So what I'm going to do, Hayley, now I'm going to have it hanging from a balloon. So I'm going to hand draw the balloon. Now his tail isn't central, so I did it and I thought, oh bother, I needed to move over, but actually fact I don't. So I'm going to draw a balloon. In fact, that's a bit fine. Let's do a bit of a heavier
so
one.
It's like a micron star pen.
Yeah.
I'm going to get Mel to come and join us actually, because this is fabulous watching this come together. So just a kind of balloon shape.
Yeah, so I'm going to go down with the thread, and then I'm going to extend the tail. Like that, so it's hanging. And I'm going to go, let me do it here.